Hello there, I'm Alex Chamwada, and today I want to talk about a very important conference that is coming up in Kigali. That is from 19th to 21st of February. It's known as Timeless Women's Conference, and it's coordinated or organized by Timeless Women of Rwanda. And I've met the convener of the conference. Her name is Nyakan June, and she'll be telling us about this conference. But let us just begin by understanding, June, what is Timeless Women of Rwanda all about?
The Timeless Women of Rwanda organization was set up. Our vision is actually to transform our continent, Africa, to drive socio-economic transformation and doing that inclusively through women. We believe that we are doing quite some great growth in the continent. Most of the leadership, decision-making, resource mobilization, and allocation are being championed at the top level by men. And we feel that if we bring in women into the equation, we'll be a full team to be transforming our continent sustainably, quicker, will be time efficient, and do much more in our lifetime. So we are bringing in women into the conversation of Africa's development and joining the men so that we can have a full team to create generational impact.
So the team
for our
behind
continent
it is not just all about women?
No, actually, it's men and women. We want to believe that Africa needs to grow holistically, and it has to be sustainable generationally. Okay. So we cannot tip off any. You can't have women in the absence of men or have men in the absence of women. For us, we believe that it has to be inclusive.
So exactly what's the Timeless Women's Conference all about?
Yeah, so the Timeless Women's Conference is actually a platform. It's a platform. We convene leaders from all over the world, primarily those who are, sold on, passionate about Africa's transformation and are committed to that cause. We look at men and women leaders across government, across the private sector, across development and business, coming in to have a conversation about Africa's growth. But one of the things that we felt was important for us to convene such a platform was to move Africa from talk to action. We have a lot of information, a lot of research, a lot of knowledge, talent, but we need to move more into executing a lot of the ideas that we have on the continent to drive this continent into the next level of economic prosperity. Yeah.
And when you talk about leaders, leaders who should help transform Africa, who to you is a leader? Who are these leaders?
Yeah, I think I like that question because anybody is a leader. Anybody who feels that they're willing to put their heart and efforts towards changing this continent. For us, you want to be that person who's driving this change. You want to be part of that transformation story. You want to be that leader who will champion change in your area of influence. Then you need to be in the room.
What's the theme of this year's conference?
Interesting, it's moving from local to global.
Moving from local to global.
Yeah.
What is local and what is global?
Exactly. Yeah. In most people's minds, people think that moving from local to global is about allocation, from a local location to a global international location. But in our mind, it has different facets. It's looking at our mindsets. Some people think, very small, and it's moving your mindset into that bigger mindset. It's looking at the work that we do and conforming to a global standard so that we can compete competitively. So if you're producing whatever merchandise, for example, in whatever sector, are you able to move the production and quality of whatever it is that you're doing to a global standard that can be competitive, So moving, the quality, the standards, from just a generally local, kind of thing. Also looking at expansion, you could be moving from one county to another. You can be moving from one country and expanding your business, across. Yeah.
Okay, so what's on the menu? What should we expect from this year's conference?
A lot of things. We've put together a very tight menu, very, very high value over 3 days. One of the things, moving from local to global, we'll be really focusing on a lot of trade and investment opportunities on the continent and looking at also how women are playing in that space. So an investors forum is going to be a key highlight, looking at bringing investors from all over the world and projects within the continent and bringing that linkage, okay? So the Investors Forum will be a key highlight. The second day is actually set aside to bring a lot of learning, sharing, networking, partnership building, a lot of contribution towards key thematic areas that we feel are critical for Africa's growth. So looking at areas of food security, education, media technology, looking at non-traditional sectors, the value addition manufacturing space, and looking at enterprises, empowering African enterprises. Okay. The last day is just set aside for a trading marketplace because we want to be practical. We We want to give opportunities for everybody who's on the platform to trade, to make linkages, to network, to sell, to make money, and to create new linkages. And then the final will be a gala dinner, where we shall make the announcements, the outcomes of the 3 days, and actually focus the next country. Yes.
Have you identified the guest or the chief guest? So
in Timeless, we don't have things like chief guest because everybody's really high level. Everybody's important, but the governments of Rwanda and Kenya are very, very instrumental and key stakeholders of this conference at the highest level. So we're looking to see very high level engagement at executive level in terms of ministers, in terms of heads of states, possible top female leaders in corporate, in development. It's a good mix.
Okay.
It's a good
and
mix.
This conference now is in its 6th edition. What can you pick from the past as the highlights of the past and achievements or challenges? How is it so far, 6 years down the line?
Amazing. When we said that we want to move from talk to action, it meant that we needed to commit as a platform, that our conferences are going to deliver outcomes that will become projects that actually are changing the continent. And I'm happy to report that over the last 5 years, in the past Timeless conferences, we've had outcomes that have led to real programs on the ground. A mentorship program for women executives that has run 5 years, graduating over 200 executive women across all sectors. Looking at building skills for industry, that was one outcome in one of the past conferences. And in the last 5 years, we've achieved about 24,500 women already skilled and trained within the construction sector, getting work in non-traditional sectors, youth platforms, enterprise accelerator programs, quite some interesting tangible outcomes.
Okay. Who are your key partners?
Oh, there are a myriad of people. We've got different media players. We have different corporates, development agencies. We've had Christian Aid on board all these years with us. We've had the UN agencies. We have corporate Safaricom. We have regional players like Comesa. There's a myriad of people involved in our partners. I can't even list them. Okay. In fact, listing is a risk because I might miss so many.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. And Chams Media, we are glad to be part of
absolutely,
this.
Absolutely.
So what's your final appeal? Or what are you pitching? What would you want people to know? I mean, where do they get information? Or is there any other appeal for maybe something that may be pending and you want it pushed forward?
I think for me is to just send out the invitation to as many men and women leaders to be on the platform. Men who are in business, women and men in corporate, in development, from across all sectors. Anyone who's willing to move to the next level. Okay. Let's be here, let's connect, let's do business, let's trade, let's access investors and investments. Let's connect with other people on the global platform and let's drive Africa forward.
Great.
Yes.
We look forward to meeting in Kigali.
Yeah, so people can get information on our website, the www.timelessconference.com. Our Twitter handles are available on the website. And let's all connect.
And the road to Kigali begins.
It does.
It was a pleasure talking to you, June, and we look forward to meeting in Kigali.
Yes, sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We were speaking to Nyakan June, convener of Timeless Women's Conference that is set to take place in Kigali from the 19th to 21st of February. Chams Media will be there covering it for you, and bye-bye for now.